Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sam's Financial Corner. And today we're going to talk about the emotional manager. This is part of the Developing the Workforce of You series. This series is important because most of us are not entrepreneurs. We have that one stream of income. And when you do, I want to give you tips and help you to maintain your job. But really not just to maintain your job, but to maximize it. We go to work. Well, now in this environment, most of us work from home, but there's still some who go into an office, even if it's part-time or back and forth. But here's the thing. We have to interact with people. And so my series is designed to help you get to a place where you learn how to interact with people for your benefit. Okay? It's really that simple. That is some basic, simple thing, learning how to work well with people. And even in a virtual environment. And sometimes a virtual environment is difficult because messages can be misconstrued, tone can be misunderstood. Sometimes it could be clearly understood. But the point I want to make is that these videos are designed to help you. So today's topic is the emotional manager. And I think we've all had them, that man or woman who you go by their office one day, they're all sunshine and chirping birds. It's look like watching an episode or the movie Cinderella. It's like it's all serene, they're happy. Chaos could be ensuing and they're like, oh, it's no problem. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Oh no, or you can just do this. Nothing is a problem. And then the next day, or sometimes even the next hour, they're this raging lunatic who's mad and angry about anything. Everything sets them off. Why wasn't this done? Why didn't you do this? I gave this to you 2 days ago. This was supposed to be done. This is unacceptable. And you just look at them. It's like they truly are the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And if that's you, then this video is for you. Let me tell you this, and I'm just going to come from a place of pure honesty. If you're that manager, just know that everybody you manage does not like you. They can't stand you. They don't want to work around you. They don't want to work with you. When we were in the office, they were happy every day you took off. They were happy for every vacation, every doctor's appointment, anything you had to do. They were thankful for every day you may have just sent an email because you could respond as quickly or whatever. And as far as they're concerned, they got you out of their hair. That's not what you want when you're a leader. That's what really makes you a boss. Bosses instigate. Bosses irritate and agitate. Leaders instruct and guide towards a certain goal or purpose for the department, as well as trying to do their best to bring out the best in the people who are on their team. So the emotional manager is anyone who manages from a place of emotion, depending on how they feel. So if their life is great, then they manage from that perspective. If they feel happy and everything is content, then their managerial point of view or how they manage comes from that energy. So when they're happy, they manage happily. They're calm. Problems happen. They're okay because they're in a state of serenity. But when they're angry and when they're upset, then that's how they manage as well. And I'm going to tell you that's ineffective in leadership. We have to get away from leadership that requires us to look at it from an emotional standpoint of how we feel. I'm going to tell you this, and I know this is going to sound cold, but your feelings are irrelevant in business. They just are. We understand that people have emotions. Things could have happened. You could have had unfortunately, maybe a parent that passed away. You can have a child that's sick. You could even be dealing with illness yourself. And people understand that because we are all human. We understand that those things can take somebody out of character. I've had those experiences we've all had where this person is acting completely out of character. And when you figure out or someone tells you what it is, you go, oh, and you have compassion for them. What we don't have compassion for is that person who's basically a bully. If you're an emotional manager, you are a bully, and that's unacceptable. And this video is to help you learn to navigate through that. So number one, you cannot manage from your emotions and feelings. You can't treat people nice because you're in a good mood and then treat people unfairly or poorly because you're in a bad mood. That's unacceptable. That's poor management, and that's poor leadership. The goal is to get you from being a boss to a leader. Leadership is very important. Leadership brings out the best. When you're an emotional manager, everyone you work with, please trust and believe me, they do not like you. They cannot stand you. And all they want to do is go home. All they want to do is complete the workday. They don't want to deal with you. They don't want to engage with you. Every time they have to, they probably take a sigh, whether you see them do it or internally, because they don't know what they're going to get. And that is also kind of a form of abuse if you think about it. If every time I interact with you, I don't know what I'm going to get, it's going to cause trauma from a certain angle, because now I'm like, oh God, I need to go ask her a question, or I need to go ask him a question. Let me see if I can get an email. Let me see if I can find another way to avoid contact with this person. It is your job as a manager to make sure that you create an open door policy where people feel comfortable talking to you. Now, they're not going to feel comfortable with everything. And I'm not saying that the people, your team, are all roses and that they're all beautiful, but this video is about looking at you from the manager perspective. And are you truly creating an environment where success can happen? And that's really the whole point. As a manager, it is your job to create the atmosphere of success. And how you do that is not by managing from an emotional standpoint. How you do that is you have to take a step back. You have to breathe, and you have to realize that this is not about you. In business, once we're in leadership, we tend to look at things, I got to do this, I got to do that. We take the mentality, I'm in charge. People are supposed to do what I tell them to do. And if you take that type of mentality, that is ineffective leadership, because a leader knows how to look at all of the people on their team and encourage them. And that's your job. When you encourage and motivate, people are willing to do. When people feel heard, when people feel valued, they're more willing to sometimes work extra hours, do stuff on the weekends, or to help you out with the project. Why? Because they don't feel as if they're being stepped on. When people feel valued and accepted, they're willing to help you. It is your job as a manager, as a leader, to effectively bring out the best in people. That is your job. That is what you're supposed to do. You're not here to antagonize or to criticize, but as a manager, as a leader, yes, you may have to say, okay, I've noticed that your performance is going down in this area. It's your job to figure out why, and it's your job to correct it. But it's also your job to encourage and to motivate. And just sometimes with the people you manage, just simply calling them into a meeting and just say, you know what, I just wanted to thank you. And of course, in this environment, but you can still do it virtually. Taking time to tell somebody, I thank you for doing this. You've been doing a great job. You've been helpful with this. Is sometimes all the motivation that somebody needs. But we need to get rid of this mindset that I'm in charge, that I am a taskmaster, and I tell people what to do and they better do what I say and do it quickly, because that is a form of bullying. We're all adults in this office workspace. We're navigating this COVID environment, but also we all have our own personal lives. We oftentimes don't know what people are going through. We don't know what life changes they're experiencing. And as a leader, it is your job to be there. You don't have to be their emotional support. That is not your job. It's not your job to be their emotional support. If they want to talk to you and you feel comfortable listening, that's fine. But it is your job to motivate. And that's what I want you to leave this video with. It is your job to motivate. It is your job to inspire. And when you put it in that perspective, you have to look at your management style a lot differently. And you have to ask yourself, what am I doing right and what am I doing wrong? It's okay to self-reflect. It's okay to make mistakes. Oftentimes we manage from learned behavior because of what we've seen others do. And that's how life is. I mean, that's how kids learn. That's how we all learn. We learn by watching others. But when we know better, we can do better. And I think that we can learn to create a better and harmonious atmosphere, even virtually, just by learning or taking these few steps of encouraging, motivating, let people do what they need to do their job because they're adults. Now, of course, as a manager, you also have times where you have people who are not performing. And of course, you're going to have to say something to them. But we're talking about the atmosphere that you create as a leader. It is your responsibility to create an atmosphere for success in the office at all times, period. That is your job. And when you do that, you'll notice that people will operate at a higher efficiency, that people are more willing to help with projects, that people are more willing to do what it takes to get the job done. And at the end of the day, as a manager, that's what you want. So again, I want to say that. I want you to remember that you can do it. Look at your behaviors. Look at what you do right. Look at what you do wrong. Analyze it, correct it, and take that step from being a boss to a leader. So thank you all for watching. If you like, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.